today we are starting a brand new project, and that is the Mandalorian shoulder. This was a audience choice. I decided that we were going to do a piece of armor, and then I let you guys decide what design. I cut it out with a Beverly shear, which is basically, it's a giant scissor. We're going to start by sinking this piece using a sandbag. So we kind of want to start in the center, rotating it as we go. Getting further and further out. Now that we've gotten a good start from sinking, we're going to continue on the raising stake. This is a silversmithing technique. It's often used for making vessels, like bowls and teapots and that sort of thing. I am doing my very best to angle the piece of steel over the stake so that I am not hammering directly on the stake, squishing the material. I'm hammering the piece of steel into the pocket of air that's underneath, so that moves the material and kind of bunches it up without crushing it. We've got a few folds that I need to take out of this. By hammering on the highest point of the fold, it forces the steel in on itself and makes the material thicker in those spots. The ripples are how we're going to shrink the material and force it to curve. So we're going to be starting to chase this piece. So instead of using the raising stake, we're going to change over to the ball stake. This is actually a trailer hitch. We are going to use this as a nice little anvil, kind of flatten out any bumps and dips, make everything nice and smooth. Now that the piece is pretty smooth, we're gonna head down to the small shop and work on the details. So inside here, I have microcrystalline wax and it's melting. So what we're gonna do here with all of this microcrystalline wax is we are going to pour it in here. And that is going to be the resist so that we can do the decorations for our Pauldron. All right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna kind of denote where we want these ridges to be. So we need a central ridge. We wanna make sure that we are starting our chisel about halfway through the line, the previous line that we made, so that we're not creating any weirdness. Now let's melt the wax out and work from the inside. So we're going to create an edge line around here. The edges are always harder to work on. The wax doesn't always want to cooperate and the angles can be a bit awkward, but we'll get it. this is the Mandalorian pauldron, and it wouldn't be complete without the mudhorn emblem. So we are going to put this mudhorn emblem on the side of the pauldron. So I printed off a template, and so we're going to cut it out, and then we're going to cut it out of this. We're going to apply this to the back side here. Nice and generous amount. And we're going to glue this piece onto our steel. Now, the reason that we use rubber cement is because it actually sticks to the steel adequately enough, but it also peels off really nicely as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to stick this on here like so. The plan is to cut all of the white out around the emblem. There's a couple areas that we're going to need to drill holes in here so that we can get inside some of these white areas like the eye and like some of the inner jaw and things like that. We're going to drill some holes in there and thread the saw blade through the holes, called piercing. So this is the piece, and if we turned it around, it would look just like so. So you can definitely see that it is completely sawed out. So basically all we really need to do is kind of go over the edges, kind of finish out the decorations, smooth some of the edges. Time to curve the emblem. So I've done a lot of polishing and I've plug welded the emblem on. I think it looks great. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section.